What is up, y'all, and welcome back to our channel. My name is Kat, and we talk all things here about helping you become the highest version of yourself and living a life that you love. So if you're a woman who is struggling in achieving her goals, creating a life that you want to, knows that you deserve more, this channel is for you. I am here to support you and empower you to become the woman who you have always been designed to be. Today, we are talking about the 5 things that you may be doing, have done in the past, or are currently doing that are stopping you from achieving your goals, okay? This is a really important discussion because oftentimes we as people do not take enough time to really reflect on our own behavior, take some accountability, honey, and helping us really move forward in our life, okay? And so as someone who really loves the work that I do and is so honored by what I get to do, it's my job to kind of be that person, to kind of be a mirror to you and really help you realize your own power and how you can really design a life that you love. So we're gonna get right on into it. There is no judgment as always when I am telling you these things because your girl has her own level of humanity. I have made mistakes before, and oftentimes the things that I'm sharing with you are my own learnings from my own experience or the experience of my clients that I've seen them experience and go through as well, okay? So no judgment here, just spreading the love and giving you tips to really help you move forward. So I will be starting off with the tip number 1 of the thing that you may be doing that is stopping you and hindering you from living a life that you love, okay? Which is all about having limiting beliefs, okay? If you are someone who has a limiting belief system, right? Meaning you are putting barriers and restrictions on yourself on what you're able to achieve, guess what? You need to cut that. Like seriously cut it. Limiting beliefs and mindset is probably the largest barrier to any form of success that you want. Everything that you experience in your physical world is simply a manifestation of what's going on internally. And I don't mean manifestation in like the woo-woo sense. I mean that in the sense of whatever you think is what's going to come to fruition, okay? For a number of reasons. But without going too much into it, I want you to get some control and get some discipline over your thoughts, and get some discipline over your belief system. This is really important because oftentimes, just as we're exercising our body to be physically fit and take care of ourselves and be healthy, you need to exercise your mind. We do not talk about this enough, but you have to exercise discipline over your thoughts in order to create the reality that you want, period, point blank. So if you have limiting beliefs such as, I could never achieve that thing, I don't deserve that, it's too difficult, it's impossible, etc., the goals that you have will never come to fruition. And I really want you to pause and think about this in your own experience. Like when you have doubt on whether or not you're able to achieve something, more often than not, you are not going to get that thing. So instead of being doubtful, I want you to know that you are deserving and capable of achieving anything that you want. I really believe this. If you know me, you know that I believe that our desires are oftentimes like they come from reality. Like we can really bring about the things that we desire. It's not out of nowhere, okay? And so if you have a desire for something, you're capable of bringing it to fruition. And I strongly believe that. I don't even need to know you to know that it's true, okay? But what it comes down to is how hard and disciplined are you willing to be in order to get that thing? That's literally it, okay? But step 1 is first realizing that you can have anything that you want. The marriage, the relationship, the finances, the lifestyle, the family, the career, the friendships, all of it, the freedom, all of it you can have, okay? And one way I help people, I encourage people, I should say, to increase their belief system is you have to make your goals a reality factor for you. Meaning you have to be able to realize that your goals can actually come to fruition. And how I like to do this is by either looking at other people's lifestyle or increasing my access to these things. I know that social media can be a double-edged sword for a lot of people. It can lead to a lot of comparison and insecurity and self-doubt. But instead, when you see people who have the things that you want, that is a surefire indicator that you too can have that thing, okay? So the next time you see a woman who has the husband, the marriage, or the career, whatever it is, instead of doubting yourself and thinking you can never get that, let that be proof that you too can have it, okay? So using other people as inspiration and also increasing access by just visiting the places that you want to be. You know, if you want to get the car that your dream car, go to the dealership and test drive the car. Go to the stores and, you know, if you want more of a luxury life, go to the stores and increase your access to it, because what this allows you to do is realize this could be possible for me. If I work hard enough, if I put the work in, if I'm disciplined enough and consistent enough towards my goals, I can have this thing. Because guess what? There are many, many people walking around living the life that you want, okay? Period, point blank. So the first thing that you need to overcome when it comes to achieving your goals and stop doing is having a limiting belief system, okay? It's very detrimental and very dangerous. And oftentimes, whatever you're thinking about up here is what is going to come to fruition, okay? My tip number 2, when it comes to things I want you to be aware of that may be hindering you in achieving your goal, is living at effect and not living at cause. Oh, child, this is so powerful. If you're one of my clients, you know I talk about the cause and effect equation all the time, because it is oftentimes the biggest difference we see in people who are successful and people who are not successful. I'm not going to go too much into it. You can check out any of my other Instagram lives that I've done talking about it. I talk about it pretty often, but all it's saying is basically that for every cause, there is an effect, right? Every action creates a reaction, right? Now, when it comes to talking about people who are living at cause versus people who are living at effect, what we're saying is there are people who realize they are powerful and can create the outcomes that they want, right? Those are people who are living at cause. And then there are people who are waiting just to see what life hands them and see what happens. And those are people who are living at effect. Now, my goal as a coach is to see my clients move from living at effect, waiting for things just to happen, and instead encourage them to live at cause. How you live at cause, my friends, is by taking accountability for your life. And what I mean is I want you to really realize that the accumulation of all of your actions in your life has brought you to where you are today. No, I'm not saying that when someone hurts you or abused you or assaulted you, whatever it was, is your fault. That's not on you. But what I am saying is that the accumulation of your actions, your thoughts, your decisions has led you to this point in your life, okay? Period, point blank. And so what I want you to do is realize how powerful you are, and that you don't just have to accept things as they are. So many people are sitting waiting for their employers to realize their worth, waiting for their partners to realize their worth, waiting for that person to ask you out or text you. No, that's living at effect. Instead, live at cause, right? Be in the director seat of your life. Guide your life in the way that you want it to. Take action, take accountability, and what you'll find is that you will drive the outcomes that you desire, okay? So a little bit of tough love there, but it's really important to get you to take accountability and responsibility for the future that you want and designing the future that you want. My third tip when it comes to things that I want you to be more mindful of in bringing about your life is to stop focusing so much on the outcome and instead focus on the process. This is something that I don't think about is spoken about enough. We are so focused on the results. I want this amount of money. I want this thing. I want the car. I want this chick, XYZ, whatever it is, okay? But no one is really thinking about what it takes to get there. And the more you can become aware of the processes, you can put processes and systems in place that will allow you to achieve your goal, the more likely you are to get that thing. I used to play soccer in high school, and I was not the best soccer player at all. But one thing my coach used to say is that, you know, if you stop worrying about the scoreboard and you just play the game right, the scoreboard will take care of itself. Like the score will take care of itself if you play the game right. And that's the same thing when it comes to focusing on the process and the systems and your habits, the daily things you're doing on a daily basis, right? And not being so focused on the outcome. The outcome will come, okay? It'll come as a result of the processes and the things that you're doing. So focus more on those, put the processes, the systems in place to help you get there, and stop being so preoccupied with the outcome. I promise you, and this is a more powerful, effective way to get the things that you want, okay? Similarly to focusing more on the process and less on the outcome, I also want you to focus on becoming and less on finding. This is so stinking powerful. If you are ready and willing to hear this, I remember when I was like really realized I was desiring like a spouse, I decided I wanted to get married. I'm not married, by the way, but I had decided like, okay, yeah, like, I definitely want a husband. I was like sure of it more than anything. And I was so focused on finding a husband, naturally. So what did I do? I started like dating. I started going out a lot more, trying to meet someone. And I focused so much on finding instead of focusing on becoming. Meaning I was so focused on other people and what they were doing and if they were husband material. And I was not even focused on who I was. Like if I was wife material, if I was ready, if I had done the work, if I was disciplined, if I had the spiritual maturity, all these things. And so similarly to taking, accountability and being at cause and focusing on the process and not so much the result, I really want you to focus on becoming the person rather than finding. It's not just about finding money or finding a husband or finding the right job, but becoming the right person, becoming the person that you're proud of, becoming a person that's deserving of those things, becoming a person that's going to bring about those things, right? That is how you get the result, by really stepping into the persona of the person that you want to be and showing up as them day in and day out, okay? Now, my next tip when it comes to things I want you to be more aware of are getting outside of your comfort zone. And this is something that I am really preaching to myself on, because I oftentimes can get really comfortable. As people, we can get really comfortable and we can become okay with being comfortable. Now, before I get into it, I want to give a disclaimer. I do not believe in this like hustle all the time, grind till you die mentality. I think it's toxic. I think it's unnecessary. It's not realistic. Okay. We need rest. We need all of those things to be functioning, creative, powerful people. However, I also am very mindful that stepping out of your comfort zone is typically how you are going to achieve the things that you want. You have to take risks. So what I tell people is that if you are afraid of doing something, if you're fearful of doing something, typically that is a pretty good indicator that that's the thing that you need to be doing, okay? You really have to be able to step out of your comfort zone and take a little bit of risk in order to get the things that you want, okay? If your comfort zone brought you the things that you wanted, you would have the life that you wanted, period, point blank, okay? So my question to you is, if you wake up in the morning and you're thinking, like, this is not the life that I want to be living. If you have those feelings, then odds are I need you to step outside of your comfort zone and do something radical, step outside of what feels safe to you, okay? And take a little bit of risk, bet on yourself. It's okay. You are the safest bet to take, okay? Because you are in control of yourself, period. You can't rely on anyone else. You don't know how other people are going to react. You don't know what, life is going to throw at you. But what you can control is your own reactions and your behavior. So take a bet on yourself, okay? It's the safest bet you can ever take if you were going to take one. So this is really, really important. My fifth and final tip when it comes to things that are stopping you from achieving your goals and living the life that you love is you are an information hoarder. Like, you love to just store information that you can't take any action until you research it to the end of the world. You have all the information you need to take a knowledgeable, precise next step forward. And that is going to hold you back like no tomorrow. Okay. What I instead encourage you to do is to prototype your life. And what I mean by that is I want you to get into motion on something, start something, and learn from that experience. Okay. There are no amounts of courses. There are no amounts of blogs you can research, research you can consume that'll help you really know what to do when you get into something, okay? Sometimes you just have to get into it and then learn from that experience. Learn from that and allow it to be feedback to you, and then tweak your behavior, tweak your actions moving forward, okay? So my fifth piece is to stop hoarding information, stop hogging information, and get into movement, okay? This is really powerful because action typically is what helps you stop overthinking and stop overanalyzing. If you're someone who's so stuck in analysis paralysis, hello, To all my overthinkers out there, okay, this step will help you immensely. Don't worry about what you're going to do later down the road. So many of us feel like we need to have step A, B, C, D, E, F, all the way to Z figured out. In reality, all you need to do is go from step A to step B, and then decide once you're in step B, okay, great. Now what's the right next step C for me to take? Okay, that's all. And what you'll find is that once you get into motion, that's when your life really starts to become in alignment, because you are learning from experience and you're understanding what your next step really is. There is no way for you to know what you need to be doing every single day of your life, okay? But once you get into action, get into motion on something, the path will become clearer for you. And how I want you to think about this, a coach of mine had painted this picture for me, which is, if you are like, think about like laying down a train track, okay? It may sound like really risky, but just, you want to put one track down as you're going, okay? You don't need the whole track to be built out. You just want to put down a track, learn from that, and then put down the next track and let that decide which direction you need to go in. I know it sounds risky, but it is a quicker way for you to get that track built out than to try to do all of it at once and then begin the train, right? That is not what we're doing here. Life is too short. Get into motion on the things that you want now and allow yourself to learn and prototype and test and iterate or whatever it is as you're into motion on your goals. So I really hope that this video helps. If you are someone who is struggling in achieving your goals, needs help, I want you to check out my description box below. I have a whole free webinar on how to overcome limiting beliefs and get into motion on your goals. And I think it'll really, really help you if you are someone who's stuck in this analysis paralysis. So I'm gonna wrap up this video. As always, you can email me, you can DM me on Instagram. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. I will be so honored and happy to have y'all. And I hope you take care. Bye.